إن شاء الله يا رب تموتين اليوم قبل بكرة. It's a good word in Arabic. Nice to meet you.
All right. So this guy walks into a Christian church. He obviously has some ill will. We're going to talk about what happened in this incident, what this guy posted to TikTok. We're going to talk about how you're going to handle a similar situation in your church, because here at Christian Warrior Training, we always talk about incidents that happen in churches, but we also talk about how you can keep your church secure and still keep it open and inviting for people to come to Christ. All right. If you love Jesus and you love protecting your congregation, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, like, leave a comment. I read as many comments as possible. I may not be able to respond to every one of them, but I love engaging with you guys and I love the kind words you have to say. All right, let's go ahead and break this incident down. We're going to play the entire video. I might stop it at a couple of times, and then we're going to talk about some of the indicators that you should worry about if this were to happen in your church. So let's start from the beginning, and then we'll go through it and we'll break it all down.
هذه العجيز. You are Christian? إن شاء الله يا رب تموتين اليوم قبل بكرة. It's a good word in Arabic.
Okay, obviously this guy has some ill will. Want to know, she is obviously uncomfortable. She's doing a good job, though, of keeping the chair between the man and her, which is always good. I would create more distance, but we're going to break down everything as he continues this rant. We'll come back and we'll look at more, but there's tons of danger cues in here. Just really quickly, if this happens to you at your church and you feel uncomfortable with somebody, always call for help and bring somebody up to come help you. He's imposing his will upon her. It needs to be vice versa. If you think somebody's coming to do ill will, you need to impose your will upon them.
To meet you. جماعة وأنا قاعد أشوف الأشياء المعلقة هنا يدي قامت تنتفض والله من الحرارة والشنار. ودك تكسر الصليب كله. Hi, how are you?
Have you information to ask? This is a point.
Yes.
Of the church.
You want me to pray here for this?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. طب عظم الله بيتكلم. آخر عمري أنا تغريني والله في دلاكم على والديها. إيش تسوي؟ ما تقدر.
Okay, these people are going to come to the church more and more. We're going to come back to this video. We're going to break down some of the body language that, even though you can't speak the language that he is, you can see some of the body language that tells you that he is not being friendly like he says he is out loud. And then we're going to talk about how you're going to keep your church secure. But remember, what happens if it's a guy that worships Islam but wants to come to Christ? Because there are a lot of people converting. We have to be able to differentiate between the two, and you can't turn your church into a bunker. So we're going to talk about some of the things that I would do and I recommend that you do as well if you were in a similar situation like that. All right, let's go back to this video real quick.
هذه العجيز. You are Christian?
So the initial signs of a threat with this guy is that he's filming in the church. He's coming in and filming and speaking in Arabic. Who does that? That's not normal. What happens if you came in to a mosque in an Arab country speaking English while you filmed yourself? Would you not stick out? Would that not be an affront to those people? Of course. That's your first sign. If it was just a man coming in and he's quiet and you say, hey, how can I help you today? And he's speaking Arabic, it might be a little bit different, right? There, he might be coming to Christ. You want to bring him in and talk to him about it and try to deliver the gospel to him. But if he's coming in filming, speaking Arabic, and you can see his facial features are tense, he's kind of dropped his right leg back a little bit, which is called a pre-attack indicator. That's what somebody does before they attack you. And here he's also using his language as a tool of intimidation. He is speaking Arabic, knowing that that's going to get a reaction, and then obviously lies to her and tells her, oh, it's words of endearment in my language. Look, he's using that to impose his will upon that lady. Now, the lady does a good job. Lady, I hope you're watching. If you are, feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to give you tons of tips about protecting yourself while keeping your church wide open. So here, his body is terse. His language, even though he's speaking Arabic, it's very angry. It's very, very strong. It's like No matter what language you're speaking, you can tell when somebody's tense. The other thing that he does, let's go forward a little bit. He starts stomping his chest.
الأشياء المعلقة هنا يدي قامت تنتفض والله من الحرارة والشناء. ودك تكسر.
Okay, do you see that? That's pre-attack indicators. If you see a guy filming and he starts doing this thumping his chest, getting mad, talking angry, you know why he's there. He's not coming to Christ. He's coming there to intimidate and to make a show out of things. There's nothing wrong with asking him to leave. And what he's doing now is imposing his will upon you. So that stomping of his chest is, as his anger builds, his body language becomes more aggressive. Stomping the chest can be seen as an intimidation tactic and a signal of preparation for physical altercation. Again, a very important pre-attack indicator. Again, that chair is a great tool. You can actually push it towards them to keep them away, but it does create some kind of a barrier. Now, look, the important thing is to do some kind of de-escalation. And here, the biggest thing for you is to remain calm. So she does a great job of staying calm and not overreacting. She's asking if he needs help, which might diffuse it a little bit. And it seems like she does remain vigilant. A friend comes over to kind of back her up. It's important to have security at your church. It doesn't seem like they have security at that church. Look, man, the days of not having a security team at your church are over. The Bible says that we're going to be persecuted for our beliefs. Now, self-defense is not a crime. If somebody's coming in to kill or wound people in your church, you can defend the people in your church. So you can speak directly to this person and be cautious. You can show a willingness to engage with that person without confrontation. But the key here is to look for those potential signs of aggression and then tell them they need to leave if that's what they're showing. And again, there's a difference between that guy being angry and somebody just coming in, not filming, and coming in and asking questions. My recommendations to you, I know there's a lot of pastors and ministers that are watching this because I know your team is forwarding it to you. My recommendation, number one, is you have to have a security team. These women are wonderful ladies that are helping deliver the gospel to everybody that will listen. That's what we want. But they are not equipped to deal with a man like this. There are those of us that are in your ministry that are equipped to deal with hostile people. I spent 30 years as a police officer. I was 6 years in the Army. All I've dealt with is hostility. I want my church to be wide open for new people to come to Christ. I can talk to them, I can help them, but I'm not as good as those ladies. But what I am good at is detecting danger. And I see danger here, and I can very politely say, hey, man, it looks like you're a little amped up. Why don't you walk away, pray to Jesus, ask for some forgiveness, and come on back when you're willing to learn more about the gospel. I think it's really important for us to keep those churches open, but still be able to deal with the danger that comes with that. We are all targets. ISIS has told their followers to attack Christian churches and Jewish synagogues. You should not ignore that threat by any stretch of the imagination. The FBI has been coming out and telling us that we are going to be attacked. Specifically, they told us that churches and synagogues are going to be attacked. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that entered our country, the United States, illegally with ties to ISIS, Afghani terrorist groups, Al-Shabaab, and other organizations where they want you dead. You have got to have a security team. If you want to learn how to create a security team, head on over to ChristianWarriorTraining.com. I have free resources. Everything I do here is free. There is nothing that I charge for. Sometimes I might have to paywall a video because it's got some very extreme violence on it, and I don't want the general public to see it. I think I've only paywall like 2 or 3 things for that reason. Otherwise, everything's wide open. You want a policy manual for your church security team? ChristianWarriorTraining.com. Go to the download section. I've got it there for you. I've got a complete policy manual. You can just insert your church name into it. If you want training on de-escalation, so you can de-escalate somebody like this, go to ChristianWarriorTraining.com, hit the training button, go find the de-escalation course. We'll give you a certificate of training on top of that. Now, if you want to support my mission and what I'm doing here, get a subscription for our newsletter, always free. It's always free. But if you have extra money after you've taken care of your family, after you've paid all your bills, you've taken a vacation, you've taken your family out to dinner, you've given to your church, you've tithed at your church, and you still have a little bit of money left over and you feel like tossing it our way to help support what we're doing here, I'll take it, right? God will provide a way for me to keep providing this information to you guys. I want you to go back, rewind it, go watch the whole video again, and think about what you would do if that person was in your church. I want you to go back. I want you to make this a scenario in your safety team training. And I want you to have your people go through it. And then after they go through it, I want them to go through it again until they start handling these things correctly. Give training to your greeters. You can send your greeters to christianwarriortraining.com to take training so they can protect themselves. Self-defense is not a crime. The best way to catch all this is discernment, by picking up on these cues, like reading the article I wrote about pre-attack indicators, and then applying that into your church. Now, look, when we leave here, there's two things that I would like you to do. The first is to pray unceasingly for the safety of you, your family, and your church. And pray for safety of specifically Christians in Burkina Faso, in Nigeria. They are being slaughtered by Islamist terrorists right now, and they could use all the prayers that we can get. The second thing I want you to do is to remember your ABCs and always be caring.